Okay, it's your 6th win in a row. You've got to be happy with that performance, haven't you?
Bits of the performance. I wasn't worried as a 6th win, but we always like to win. But I think too much of our performance, we gave away the ball softly and in poor areas. So we really tried to work in the second half about turning them around a bit more and getting space between the lines. And I think that worked and started to stretch them a bit. And I think we're starting to see the benefits of how hard we train. And the last 15 minutes of games, we seem to be just as strong and we're pushing teams really hard in those moments. And that seems to be where we're getting most of our goals.
Well, you bookended the performance with a goal right at the start and then right at the end. It was a perfect start and a really calm finish from Indy Page. Indy Page Riley. She managed to score on Wednesday night as well, so a fair bit of workload for the youngster at the moment.
Yeah, well, they all work hard, mate. We play Wednesday night and then we play weekends. We've got a big squad, but we've just finished NTC and now the focus shifts onto those players pushing for W League spots. So their loads have to be high to compete against the Matildas. They all want spots in the team, so they've got to keep performing now so Mel can keep an eye on them. And scoring goals is what Indy needs to do to put her best foot forward. We're always hopeful that they'll push on and get those contracts at the end of the year, but we also want them to be realistic about their journey. It's only just starting for them, and we really want to make sure that they're in for the long haul and that they've got a long career with the club.
You speak about scoring goals. Liani Freer managed to grab a hat-trick. Her performance was pretty special, as was that of her twin sister. I think she set up at least two of them. So they seem to have a pretty special connection on the field.
Yeah, they do, mate. They'll find each other consistently on the park. Lainey's been really good for us. They're both very good down at NTC for us. And I think last week when Lainey came on at half-time against South, she influenced the game quite significantly as well and scored one of the goals there. So we're happy with all of how they're going. It's great to see that those girls weren't in the pathway before. They were with the NPL clubs, but they never made a state team. We invited them in last year and Moreton Bay put them forward. And they've just gone from strength to strength with us. And we're really happy to see that the pathway is working and people are getting opportunities even if they haven't made a state team.
A player who really stood out for me was Winona Heatley. I thought she was fantastic at the back, really controlled possession, cut out a lot of the attacks by Capalaba at the end, and managed to sort of really spark a lot of the attacks as well.
Yeah, definitely. Winnie and Indy were both in the national team last year for the under-17s that went overseas. I think they just show their quality and calmness. There's still things that Winnie needs to work on. A few times we go back into trouble and create our own problems, but I was happy with Winnie's performance tonight. She played really well on our Wednesday night against the boys as well. So it's good to see that they're stringing performances together because, like I said, with Indy, they really need to do that to really put their best foot forward to make that squad.
What's the target for the Roar Youth? Obviously, it's to get as many of those girls into the conversation for the W League season as possible.
Yeah, that's a part of it. We're always wanting our girls to be considered for national teams. We were a bit disappointed with the numbers that actually were invited or identified at NTC. We thought we probably should have had a few more players that were on the radar or were given an opportunity to come into camp. But I guess that's a thing in consistency. We were good once and we just need to keep backing up now. I think if we're able to repeat performances, then that consistency is what rules. And once they start taking their opportunities, which I've got no doubt they will, that's how we gauge success on how many players not only go on to national teams but also step up into that senior squad.